Hi, Alex here. I want to talk to you about what we do under our what we call sales partnership contract. This is when we go into a company that's got unlimited capacity effectively to scale so that they can grow quite quickly. And what we do, we recruit for them 100 plus remote commission only salespeople. And we tend to do that within a 12-month period, usually as well, or even go beyond that. We go into this situation with certain types of companies that have actually got, they must be profitable already, they must have an established product that's proven, they've got something going, but they're probably not that big that they've got some big infrastructure that they would have to change, although sometimes that can happen. I just want to go through some of the things when we take on a client like that. We go through an onboarding process, or even really in the closing visit and in the detail of what we go through to make sure what they've got in place and what we need to make it happen. Because just recruiting salespeople, just waiting for them to produce, just doesn't work that way. And naively, a lot of people seem to think it's that simple. It takes a lot more than that. So the first thing that we do is, well, we look at the new sales associate recruitment profile, which can change according to the industry sector. You may want languages, you may want certain experiences. There's all sorts of things that might be special there. There might be a minimum experience level, there might be specific experience, a language perhaps. But we also look at a preferred timescale to take the new recruits on board, because initially with the new model, it's usually good to get five or six, bed them in a bit, do it quickly, but tweak the systems and make sure everything is working. And what we really want as Success Moves is to get one person really getting well into six figures to set them up for a recruitment model, to actually help recruiters for. And by the way, on the recruitment, we run events live in hotels. We still do that, and we still do them online as well. For remote, online does tend to work because it's not location specific. We look at the priorities of the company. We look at the leadership as well. Is the leadership, if you've got 100 salespeople, you've got to have some leadership and management in there. We look at what's going to happen there. So that's on the recruitment side of getting the people, and we can get them. We've been doing this, we haven't just started, we've been doing this since 2008, recruiting remote salespeople, recruiting commission only. In fact, we've led on it long before the coronavirus came into play. So this is what we do. So when we get the recruitment right, we also produce materials like an interview with the MD, the founders. We produce recruitment funnels, not just job adverts, videos, chatbots, all sorts of things on that recruitment side, which is in our back office, if you like. You need to particularly see that to make sure we get the right people. We help there on the remuneration formula for sales associates working remote. There's there's quite often more of a management motivation issue because they are remote, they're not in a buzzing office. Um, Actually, there the commission only helps because if you're paying basics, which you can do, you've then got more of a management issue. There's a lot of people that will coast if they're receiving a basic. They need the pressure on, so it tends to actually make it easier in many respects. But there's certain things you must do. The golden rule is really usually to have three status levels. Status, recognition, respect is big amongst salespeople. So we tend to start people off, and we put them in WhatsApp groups and training groups, at what I call 0 to 1. So my view is until the person we place with you has made their first deal, we haven't made a placement yet. That's just the third interview, if you like, part of it. So we separate them before they go into the main training and so forth. And it's usually basic training to get them on the product and opening and so forth to get them rolling. Um, and to encourage that urgency, a lot of people will start a job generally, but particularly remote salespeople, surprisingly, and they'll tick along a bit and they're seeing what's happening, getting a feel for it, and settling in. We don't really want any of that. We want them to go at 100 miles an hour from minute one, day one. And we do various things to get some urgency. One thing is fast track bonus. We can give them a bonus. It could be worked out in all sorts of ways, like £500 if you get the first deal in the first month, or certain work in progress, or certain contacts, certain visits, certain closing calls, some parameters that you have to achieve. We even give advances on commission fees and suggest that in some cases, to actually help people get going. Not always keen on that, but sometimes it works. And obviously, we're building manager overrides because if you're looking to go into the hundreds, you need a management structure and they're in overrides and you need that in the budget. We obviously are charging on a percentage override ourselves. So it should be all, make sure the budgets all work. Then we add to that, we want to check what training and development have you got for these people. Now, normally we recruit experienced salespeople and quite often with relevant knowledge of client-specific industry. That cuts the sales training itself down. They've already got that. What they need more of is two things. One is product knowledge of the specific product, the service you're selling. And secondly, it's more the personal development area, motivation, goal setting, that type of thing, determination, hunger to really get going and get that productivity up. It's very easy for somebody working home alone to get the motivation down and the confidence level down. And that needs to be addressed. And there's certain types of training that can help with that. Usually, just simple things like daily online Zoom meetings, WhatsApp groups, messages, a support portal for the training, all sorts of things, keeping in touch with them, letting them know they're part of a big group. And there's some accountability. There's some sales board, even if it's online, saying who's doing what. So, that status thing gets worked into that. So training, development, obviously sales scripts, we can help write them, we can produce them, we can put them in audio and video form as well to help induct people and mass process, obviously. We want to sell training time, so we want to produce these things once and get everybody to watch or listen. It's so much more efficient when you're trying to scale quickly. Okay, so that's all that. And finally, but quite importantly, what support are you giving them in terms of leads, marketing generally, and administration? We can package that all in. We can do lead generation. Most companies are not that good at digital marketing. We've got a whole team in every specialist area of digital marketing. I talk to many MDs and I ask them what they're doing. And the most common thing I hear from people is, yeah, we paid somebody to do SEO. And I say, great, what happened? Oh, the traffic to the website got up. I said, great, what happened? Well, what do you mean? I said, well, traffic to a website that's like an old-fashioned shop trying to get people walking past or seeing your adverts. That doesn't really do you anything. You've got to capture and nurture those people, and they probably need retargeting. They need all sorts of sales funnels. There's a whole range of tools that we can help generate leads and actually do an automated follow-up system with emails, chatbots, videos, all sorts of things to actually automate the warming them up, to make the salesperson's job. Somebody's got to close them at the end of the day, but to make the sales job a lot easier. So we do all of that, looking at all of that package to make sure, and this is how the formula works, we're on a percentage of results. So we want to make sure marketing's right, training's right, infrastructure, admin, it's all right, management team, leadership, products. In fact, if we're not convinced, we don't usually do the deal. We don't take on everyone because it's very much for us and everybody a long-term investment, but we're looking for people who are very ambitious and want to make a lot of money quickly, companies that want to really build up, and we recruit people that want to make a lot of money and not mess around. So it's a great formula. It means you can scale massively, which you'd have to spend £3 to £5 million on if you were doing it the traditional way. So you've got no offices, no basic salaries, no recruitment fees up front. Everything is on results, paid out from results. So it's self-financing. It's the best way that you can possibly build a business. So we're actually doing quite well, as you can imagine, on it, and we're growing. We have limited capacity ourselves to some extent, but that's in a nutshell what you need to think about before you scale at that level. Don't just expect the salespeople to perform. You've got to have the whole thing in place. So I hope you found that useful. Hope to meet you soon. Have a fantastic day.